Okay, class, now that we've finished watching that video of Martin Luther King Jr., I would like a couple of you to answer, what was he doing exactly? Okay, yeah, he was speaking. Yeah, he was giving a speech. Perfect. Okay, good answers. Okay, so when a person is speaking to a group, wait, first, what kind of group was he speaking to? Was it a big group? Was it a smaller group? Yeah, it was a pretty big group, wasn't it? Okay, so when a person, an individual, speaks to a large group, this is called public speaking. Now, public speaking is important um, because it's a way for an individual to get their point across or get their ideas across, especially when they're good ideas or positive ideas. That's where we see a lot of public speaking. I'm just going to give you a couple seconds and I'd like you to think. Where are some of the places you have seen public speaking? Now remember, that doesn't necessarily have to be a huge group. Just some of the spots where you've sat and listened to a person speak with a group around you. Okay, yeah, we've had some speakers come in and talk about different things. Sometimes we have assemblies in the gym, and maybe the principal has some news to tell us. Anything else? That's a good answer. So, right, yeah, right now, technically, I'm public speaking to all of you. Um, Anything else? Okay, yeah. So if you go to a church or any other type of service, the people who are presenting that to you are also public speaking. So again, public speaking is really important because it gives a person an opportunity to relay their ideas to other people. Now, let's think of some characteristics. I'd like you to take a second and think back to the video. What were some of the things that Martin Luther King Jr. was doing? Or what are maybe some of the characteristics you think are good for public speakers? Does anybody have any answers? Let me give you a hint. So let's think about when you're reading out loud to the class. What are some of the things you want to do when you're reading out loud? Right? You want to speak loudly and clearly so people can hear you. What else? Yep, you want to make sure you're reading at a good pace, kind of getting that rhythm down. Great. So yeah, when you're reading to the class, those are two things, or when you're public speaking, those are two things you really want to do. One other thing I'd really like you to think about that's important when you're speaking out in front of everybody, maybe not necessarily reading at your desk, is to make sure that you're making eye contact. Eye contact keeps the group engaged and lets them know that you're speaking to them and not just reading off of note cards or something like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple other videos, okay? And I'd like you to think while we're watching these videos, keep in mind some of the characteristics we just talked about, okay? So we had our first video is a professional athlete speaking about how he became a professional athlete. And our other video is our old president, Barack Obama, giving one of his famous speeches. So again, just keep in mind some of the things I told you and see if you notice any of them with the two speeches.